Good evening. This is Maestro with the Dawn of War 2 Retribution Elite Modcast. Today we have a 3v3 on Estia Province. Our first player is going to be Rogal Dorn, playing as the Plague Champion. Ranged Chaos Hero with a damage over time bolter, also has the ability to heal and repair. Next up, it's going to be Commissar Lag, playing as the Lord General. This is a support and defense commander, squad-based, can reinforce out on the field, and buffs his own units. And finally, for the blue team, it's going to be Wolfguard, playing as the Force Commander, tanky melee hero that buffs and disrupts with Battlecry. Their opponents on the red team, we are going to start off with Stybek. He is playing as the Chaos Lord, tanky melee hero that walks through cover and cannot be suppressed. Hive City will be playing as the Hive Tyrant. It's going to be yet another tanky melee hero that walks through cover and cannot be suppressed. One of the tankiest heroes in the game. And finally, we're going to have Alex, the Herald of Fools, playing as yet another Lord General. So then, I'm sure you've noticed that it's been nearly 2 weeks since my last upload. And yeah, I mean, it's just been a very busy time for me. It's something that I always knew as I was returning back to teaching in September. And it is kind of just the way things are. Sometimes I can upload a little bit more frequently. Other times things do slow down a little bit. But for now, I am here, and we have got this game here on Estia Province with the Chaos Lord and the Heretics getting into melee with the Chaos Space Marines. I think the Chaos Space Marines just want to retreat here before they give up another model to all that damage from the Heretics. Still might happen, but they are lucky to get out of there. Plague Champion won't be so lucky, but of course, it won't actually be that hard of a revive for one of his teammates. Still, it's going to be a red team win on this side of the map by the contested victory point. And a lot more is going on over on the right side. Victory points should soon be ticking down in favor of the red team. Once that contested victory point is taken, we're also going to see a very early war gear upgrade right here in these early engagements. Grenade launchers out for Commissar Lag. I've always personally enjoyed this one, sometimes even just for the humorous effect that it has, with just the way it looks like when your guardsmen are just speeding around the map with that extra movement speed that the grenade launchers can give them with move. Meanwhile, this Force Commander here, tanking like a boss in there against all those guardsmen and termagants, and he will even make it out alive, but it's still definitely a lost fight for the Space Marines right here. Guardsmen from Lag, these beautiful pink guardsmen, going to be moving back. Bioplasma comes out from the Hive Tyrant, so another rather early upgrade. That Hive Tyrant getting the Bioplasma. I think it's a decent choice considering there is at least one Imperial Guard player that he is facing. So some nice area of effect damage. Guardsman squad nearly going down 1 hit points, and it won't be enough to get out of there alive. So early Guardsman loss for Commissar Leg, who, by the way, does not have a single Sentinel. No Sentinels for him. I say single as if double would make sense, and actually it wouldn't be so crazy. We do have the single Sentinel out of Alex, the Herald of Fools, which is very much to be expected. And oh no, Lag with a little bit of a rough start here, maybe even getting a little bit of lag there, as the Lord General will go down for him. And that will be kind of a generator bash opportunity for Alex here. Doesn't look like too much. Imperial Guard don't really have a lot of early game generator pressure unless they upgrade to a Flamer, and for many reasons that is often seen as undesirable. Locks you out of getting plasma guns later on. The Flamer models will have shorter range. But it's going to be a victory point lead for the red team here. In general, it feels like the red team is leading in quite a few ways. I would say that in general they are winning at the moment. They've got the victory point lead. They have inflicted 2 squad losses on their opponents. Commissar Lag losing one of his guardsmen, and then although I didn't catch it myself personally, we can see that Wolfguard did lose his starting scout squad. And oh my, I talked about the relative lack of generator pressure from the Imperial Guard. If Lag can make his way over to the generator farm of the red team, he can bash it really, really quickly because he's gone for triple Flamer Guardsmen. Now, to be fair, I think getting the generators for Lag, not the generators, getting the Flamers for Lag, I don't think it's all about, it's not all about the generator pressure. It can also be pretty good against, well, it's good as its area of effect damage, so it can be good against Guardsmen, it can be good against early Tyrannid squads, so he's actually got quite a lot of opposing squads that could be vulnerable to those Flamers. Still a little surprising to see it because it completely locks him out of plasma guns, which he could want later on against a potential warrior, which is not even potential. In fact, the warrior is very much a reality. It's already here, as well as Venom Brood and any other heavy or super heavy infantry armor that could be present. So, another generator bashing opportunity from the red team. Hive Tyrant doesn't have to worry about getting focused down too much, as there's nothing currently to respond to him, so he can go that close up to the generators. Now he's going to move back a little bit. The red team still has not lost a single victory point, and while I'm watching all this, I'm somehow missing Wolfguard losing multiple squads. Not going to miss these generators going down, though, unless there's something more interesting going on over here, as shots are being traded out between opposing Havoc squads. And I missed the generator going down anyway, but I hope you're okay with that. Looks like it will be the full farm along with a decap, because this is a double. This is Wolfguard by himself, and he has been suffering quite a bit. And his Devastating Marines, I was about to say they're not going to be able to do anything against that Warrior Brood, but instead we are going to see some upgrades out of the Force Commander, Chainsword and Storm Shield, to give him, as well as nearby units, that suppression immunity. So he's able to push back, but he's also suffered quite a bit. Lag is trying to do what he can, and this is looking pretty rough, as it's been a clear tech lead for the red team. Maybe not a clear tech lead, but a clear power lead, which should eventually lead into a tech lead, as we do see all players on the side of the red team teching up to Tier 2. Bioplasma goes in, but all of those squads retreat. Certainly they will take the damage, however, they do prevent themselves from getting knocked down by retreating. Bioplasma, as we see here, is the accessory war gear for the Hive Tyrant. One of them gives him a ranged area of effect attack, and obviously shoots also at quite long range. At this time, the blue team even having trouble holding their natural. They don't have it. That's going to be suppression coming in from the Warriors. No, it won't, because that is, again, yet another use of Defend. Defend here working out quite well. But is it going to be working out well enough? As the Hive Tyrant is here in melee, even the Sentinel is coming in up close. We're going to see some move, Flamer Guardsmen. I guess there is supposed to be some synergy here between the move, as well as the Flamers. Of course, Flamer Guardsmen going to have a little bit shorter range on those Flamers than the las guns. So he's trying to speed them on in there. Unfortunately, a lot of them aren't going to end up retreating anyway. Force Commander in melee. He does pop one of the Warriors. Now this Chainsword and Storm Shield, it is going to be the weakest in terms of pure DPS, and I mean that does stand to reason, as that it is meant to be a defensive upgrade. Although of course it does allow you to counter push. Anyway, can the blue team get their natural? We still have a heavy weapon team here that is effectively denying it. The Force Commander wants to do something about the heavy weapon team. We're also going to see the artillery spotters take care of it too, but he knocks down the Force Commander as well. A little bit of anti-synergy between teammates, but the heavy weapon team is forced off the field, which really is the important part. And finally, we will see Lag, I think, retake the natural victory point for his team. Anyway, there is a Lord General here who is just cheekily getting the decap here on this PowerPoint, which, you know, it's not bad. He'll get out of there alive, and that's just some nice disruption on the opponent's power. And we do see that all of the players on the red team are in Tier 2. Some of them already have, in fact, all three of them already have Tier 2 units out on the field. And it's going to be a little bit difficult for our blue team players to respond. Not impossible. They're just a little bit behind. Wolfguard in particular still taking up to Tier 2. Commissar Leg getting the Stormtroopers. Almost undoubtedly going to be a anti-armor kit Stormtrooper squad as a way of just responding to these vehicles. The Dreadnought is moving up. We've got the double zone thropes out of Hive City, something that can be pretty effective against Guardsmen. I think in general it's actually just really effective against every single player on the blue team, given that not a single one of them has a jump squad. And I think most of the units just on the side, I mean, just no jump squads, mostly range squads, very low mobility all around, except for Commissar lag with the move on those grenade launchers. Also has the stabilizers, granting some health back to allied infantry. And that's going to be a full generator bash, courtesy of that Chaos Lord and Dreadnought. This Dreadnought now needs to be super careful, though, potentially overextended. Chaos Lord also pretty low. Dreadnought is going to be taking some shots from the Havoc. Havoc unset up for some reason. Might have been a little bit scared about the opposing Havoc, but I think it could have gotten at least one more shot off on the Dreadnought had it not unset up unnecessarily. That was a very difficult string of words. This artillery spotter will be lucky to get out alive, but I think it will make it. Tactical Marine right here. Where this is a single Tactical Marine. Where are the other 3 models? I don't even see them. There they are. They're coming around the corner. They're getting suppressed. Where's Defend on the Force Commander? So that's going to be all of Wolfguard's units forced off the field. Lone Devastator Marine Squad can't do it against everything that is here from the Tyranids and just retreats to make sure that they get out alive. Sad thing is that it probably means another full generator bash that the blue team will suffer at the hands of the red team. That being said, looks like Commissar Lag is making good on his rather interesting composition, the Triple Flamer Guardsman. If he is allowed to be by the generators for just a few seconds, he can just destroy it all. And that's probably going to be helping the blue team out a lot to stay in this game. But meanwhile, is there any help that can be given to this Chaos Dreadnought to keep it alive? We're going to see a heavy turret. No, the Dreadnought doesn't stand a chance against that with a heavy turret here. That is rather expensive as a Dreadnought answer, because I'm not sure how much more value this heavy turret is actually going to get. Seems like it misfired there. To be fair, I think the heavy turret has enough range that if it is given sight, I think it can actually target the victory point. And he's getting some actually decent value on these Chaos Space Marines who are not respecting it. Finally, they get behind the line of sight blocker. Need to be careful, though. Now they're not behind the line of sight blocker. Now they're just in open firing sight of the heavy turret. The heavy turret getting actually so much value. Plague Marines will succeed in finishing off this cap. And that'll just stall out the Chaos Lord for a little bit. Actually, the Chaos Lord doesn't do that well in this engagement. He is all by himself, and Stybek realizes that needs to be a retreat. Otherwise, he's just going to take a huge amount of damage from all 4 of the units that are here, because he's all by himself. Big engagement happening right here. What is this visual effect that is happening? I can't even tell. All right, looks like it has resolved itself. Oh my god, Guardsmen are super low. Is there a Bioplasma to attempt to finish them off? Would it even be enough? I don't know. I don't think so. I think instead he's just going to be looking to tie up the Devastator Marines. He's already around their firing arc. Where is he even going? What is he doing? And now we actually do have some Assault Marines, some pretty late Assault Marines, but they might be able to finish off this Zoanthrope, and they do. That is big. They finish off the Zoanthrope. They'll take out the Brood Nest as well. I said they'll take out the Brood Nest. All right, maybe not. Not? I mean, yeah, these Assault Marines need to get out of here before they lose a model. But they had enough time to finish off that Brood Nest. Anyway. The Zoanthrope as well as Heavy Weapon Team taking out the generators. Looks like the Chimera went down at some point. Yet another unit that got killed off screen. Meanwhile, big fight right here. Flamer Guardsman just absolutely roasting other Guardsmen. Flamer Guardsman. Oh my god, oh my god. Does he wipe any of these Guardsman squads? One of them is super low, 5 hit points. That's not even a Guardsman squad. That's a Stormtrooper squad, and they do go down. This is also a Creeping Barrage. The Creeping Barrage, I don't think actually got that much. Meanwhile, Lag, yeah, his Stormtroopers are anti-armor. But they don't actually have any armor to target, but soon they will, because there is a Bane Blade coming out from Alex, the Herald of Fools. Force Commander here at this point might consider switching his weapon. We do still have the Warrior here with the Barb Strangler. So he can still counter that with Defend, but, you know, as he is getting surrounded by those Hormagaunts, I just can't help but feel that he probably would get a little bit more value out of the Thunderhammer. Anyway, these Tactical Marines are pushing forward for the Emperor. One of those warrior models does get popped. Where is this second one going? I think all the Tyranid units need to just be retreating here. It's going to be... What is this Brood Nest? Dropped right next to some Chaos Space Marines. Never stood a chance. All right. Well, you know, things looked a little bit rough for our red team early on, but since then, it really has evolved into a lot of back and forth. Alex has lost a little bit, but he's going to come out with a Baneblade. We'll see how that fares. I feel like Baneblades have a tendency to become death boxes in 3v3 games. I've seen so many Baneblades die. Meanwhile, Let the Galaxy Burn going in, but Stybek, a few too many times when I feel like this Chaos Lord is getting focused down a little bit too much. Maybe just not having enough support. He's trying to get into melee, but it's not always working out for him. Meanwhile, yet another Generator Bash opportunity, but can they do it under the fire of this Baneblade right here? Commissar Leg is just choosing to do it. They are spending those Guardsman lives. I mean, he's going to get the Generators, so he's going to get at least one more, I think. But at this point, how much is that really achieving? I suppose it is building red, and we do actually have a lot of red on the side of the blue team. So one of the things that could really turn the game in their favor is if they do make some big plays with some nukes. Guardsman nearly dead, 9 hit points. Do they make it out alive? Zoanthrope tries to finish them off, manages to snipe the final Guardsman model, but the lone Commissar will get out of there alive with 4 hit points. So we'll probably see a push for this generator farm, and the red team with not nearly as much red stored up. Chances are they've just been using it this entire time. Certainly we've seen some Brood Nest out of Hive City. Also saw Capillary Tower out of him. Stybek, I actually don't recall seeing his red used for anything, which he had to have been using it for something, and I just didn't catch it. Assault Marines will be jumping in here on the double Venom Brood. Where is the Crippling Poison to slow them down? It's not here for some reason. I think they've got it. I think they're just not using it. I think it's just so many things are going on. Unfortunately, though, the Assault Marines eventually just going to get overwhelmed. They're going to be retreating through the Baneblade, literally through the Baneblade. They're walking inside the Baneblade. And they did lose a model in the process. Maybe one just got captured inside the Baneblade. Meanwhile, Commissar Lag just with this sneaky Stormtrooper squad. Stormtroopers will lose a model there, but certainly getting a lot of generator bashing done. And I gotta be real careful because we see a lot of red on the side of the blue team. Wolfguard is the only one who doesn't have enough for a nuke, but he is super close. So we could see a nuke just about at any time out of our blue team, and they've actually managed to turn this around a bit. They now are finally leading in victory points for what I think is the first time in the entire game. Okay, the Baneblade is being marginally answered. There is a Havoc right here. It just barely has the Baneblade inside its firing arc. It's still getting shots off. Meanwhile, the Plague Marines as well as the Chaos Space Marines will get knocked down. Chaos Space Marines realize it's better for them to target the Zoanthrope and Hive City. Not completely paying attention there. I think this is the... Okay, this is just going to be a Creeping Barrage, so another Creeping Barrage. That one coming out of Alex, Herald of Fools, mostly to disrupt the Plague Marines and the Havoc. And then that just takes a lot of pressure off the Baneblade, but here is the Rocket Run. Partially missed it. Will take out at least a Guardsman squad, I think. My God, I'm not even sure. No, I'm targeting the wrong side. It did take out Guardsman squads. In fact, Alex, Herald of Fools, really, unfortunately, living up to his name at this point. He's certainly being made a fool of by the blue team, as he has no Guardsmen left. They've all been wiped out, and he only has a Baneblade. And with only 1,000 of its hit points out of 3,000, it's going to be fairly useless until more Guardsman squads get out on the field to support it. Alright, while all that's happening, or actually while nothing else is happening, Stybek is going to move over here, get more of a generator bash. I'm actually not sure what he wants to do anymore. He seems to just be moving around. He certainly could bash these generators. Chaos Terminators can actually bash rather quickly, but there is a fight going on right here, and the Baneblade is gone. Caught it just in time. snared by the Melt-A-Bomb from the Stormtroopers. And a default Leman Russ out here for Commissar Lag. Nice, bright and pink. We'll see our next engagement occurring on bottom, at bottom, whatever preposition you want to use. Going to be a big sweeping doom. Let's just double check, make sure that is in fact called sweeping doom. It is. Sweeping doom, wailing doom, demolishing strike. They all get easy to forget after a while. That is going to be a creeping barrage. It's going to be Chaos Space Marines in the guard tower. I don't think they 100% don't, with Barb Strangler Warrior being right there. Hormagon's pushing forward, though. They will surround the Chaos Space Marines, and this is just Rogal Dorn being pushed back into his base, but here comes Commissar Lag to the rescue. However, his guardsman's going to be taking a lot of damage from this Neurothrope out of Hive City. Hive City really preferring these long-range artillery units, although technically, if memory serves, Neurothrope actually does have shorter range than the Neurothrope has shorter range than the Zoanthrope. But of course, part of the reason for the Neurothrope is actually that it is a little bit more ability-based, and there's a lot of utility and damage potential that comes out of it as a result. Victory points tied at 1-1. Well, not anymore. 2-1 in favor of the blue team, and certainly they'll start ticking the victory points back down in their favor. 229 to 229. I waited just for that exact moment. What is this call in right here? They need to move up. Oh, wait. Oh, it's just going to be... This is quite aggressive. We need some units to move up to support that. Those are some Terminators called in. Oh my god, and they're snared by Crippling Poison. What was the purpose of that there? They will put some damage onto the Warriors, but now they're also going to be having a lot of damage put on them from the Paroxysm out of the Neurothrope. They need to teleport out of here before they lose a model from all the damage they're taking. Well, instead they just wait out the whole thing. Finally, there is some support coming in. And it looks like support coming in just in time, as that is a Zoanthrope taken down, and it's actually going to be a 1 engagement for Wolfguard right there. Eventually making good on his Terminator call-in, and without losing a single model either. So blue team starting to look very good in this late game, as they've got the victory point lead. They're looking to extend it. Bloodlust has been activated by Stybek, and that may be the global that he has been using all this time to use up all his red on, which I personally do believe in that global quite a bit, so I think it's not a bad idea, and I think he can get a lot of value out of it. Probably has been. Meanwhile, that's going to be another Guardsman squad. My god, Alex, Herald of Fools, just losing units left and right. He's lost another Guardsman squad, he's down to Ogrins, and he's buying a new squad of Stormtroopers. I'm surprised he's getting Stormtroopers in Tier 3 when he could get Kashikans. He might actually specifically be thinking that as a vehicle counter. That would actually be the main reason to get the Stormtroopers instead of Kashikans in Tier 3. Anyway, the red team, though, not out of it yet. They've fallen behind in victory points, but they are still trying to make a play for the contested victory point. Leman Russ, currently unupgraded. Been a lot of debate about the Leman Russ upgrades. Partly my fault, as I talked about it in one game. Where, you know what? The Leman Russ technically functions well just about no matter what weapon you have on it, even if you leave it default. Default weapon on the Leman Russ does have the lowest DPS. In fact, it literally has half the DPS of either of the upgrades. But the other upgrades do have some trade-offs. Executioner, gonna give you even less range than the starting one, and then the Vanquisher, probably the safest choice overall, but you give up all the splash damage, which does make it a lot less useful against things like basically Tier 1 Tyrant squads as well as Guardsmen. Okay, that is going to be a Cataclysm, knocking over double Tactical Marines, but the Assault Marines going to be making very good on their jump in, forcing off both some Warriors as well as a Zoanthrope, and now they're going to make it on against the Hive Tyrant, who's just super low, and he goes down as well. Hive City collapsing in this engagement, but maybe he's not done with it yet. Another Cataclysm going to knock over the Tactical Marines and the Stern Guard veterans, while these Chaos Terminators are just tanking a lot of damage from the double Leman Russes. And of course, one of the best reasons to not upgrade your Leman Russ is to save those resources to buy a second Leman Russ. Victory points will be changing hands yet again as the Chaos Terminators from Rogal Dorn. What's happening to them? They were capturing that victory point and then they stopped, and now they're doing it again. Chaos Lord needs to get out of here. I think this is the third time I've kind of caught Stybek in a situation where the Chaos Lord is going out completely unsupported. I mean, even activating the energy shield shows that he's actually kind of paying attention here, which in a way is almost not good, because that's just like a staggered approach out of the Chaos Lord. Now he's got to go back to his... He's got to go back, wait until he heals up. Yeah, that Chaos Lord not achieving so much solo. He's really going to need more support. Okay, lone Hero Guardsman out of Commissar Lag, just dying for the Emperor, but it's going to mean a retreat from them as well. Luckily for Lag, these are Guardsmen with a Commissar. They can use Summary Execution to stop their retreat, but there's not really anything out on the field for Commissar Lag that can both reinforce and heal them up. He's technically got stabilizers for the health regeneration, but nothing to reinforce them, so it's probably them just going to be moving back to base. Meanwhile, Commissar Lag also here with the Generator Bash. The Flamer, the triple Flamer out of Lag has actually been quite interesting. It's worked out pretty well. This is a rocket run. Rocket run on the blue team. Knocking over the Tactical Marines. That is a lot of blue team units just knocked down on the ground as the red team is approaching. We're going to see the Ogrins getting into melee with the Stern Guard veterans while more things happen over here. The double Leman Russ is getting repairs from the repair bunker. And this is going to be the Guardsmen, or rather the Ogrins there, getting out off the field. Still with this Force Commander, with the Defend, that Chainsword and Storm Shield in the late game here. And that is also an Imperial Abyss that I more or less completely missed. Certainly, it killed a few models. Not sure if it got squads. Okay. Yeah, I don't know about this one from Stybek. He has activated Bloodlust. He's trying to make a play for the Leman Russ, and I think some miss micro from Commissar Lag actually going to result in that Leman Russ going down. I'm incredibly surprised. I did not think that the Chaos Terminators, as well as the Chaos Lord, pushing in that far would have been a good idea, but Stybek manages to make something happen with it. Anyway, the Assault Terminators now in quite a bit of trouble, but they can teleport out of there. Crippling Poison, quite a nuisance for those Terminators. Crippling Poison, a Tier 1 ability from Termagants. But not only does it work on Terminators, it's actually even better against Terminators than it is against most other squads, because Terminators cannot retreat out of it. Assault Marines have jumped in somewhere, but where? Right here. The Phobos out here from Rogal Dorn. Meanwhile, trying to hold this, but being very careful as well. All of these units, though, getting repairs from this Imperial Guard bunker, which as of yet has not been threatened, so it's giving a lot of sustainability here to these units. But the Chaos Predator in a huge amount of trouble. I think, in fact, it's just done. Yeah. Heavily snared there. Electroshock Grub out of, I think there was an Electroshock Grub out of a Warrior Brood. There was also the snare from the Chaos Havocs, and there was a Plague Marine squad right there, so that Chaos Predator not standing too much of a chance. Is this a barrage, or is it a rocket run? It is a rocket run. Partially missing there. But now the Phobos is in a bit of trouble, and oh no, the Phobos needs to move back a little bit, see if he can get in range of the Imperial Guard bunker, but I don't think it will be in time. That is going to be the end of the Phobos. Might have even been the Chaos Lord who got the finishing blow on it. Fully upgraded Chaos Lord, level 9 as well, very close to just max level, 10 being the highest that you can get. Blood Maul, Armor of the Inferno, and the Dark Halo. Not the most synergistic build, but, you know, he seems to be doing well with it anyway. Now, the Leman Russ in a decent position right here. A lot of damage threatening it, but Plague Marines are finally forced off. And the Chaos Lord, I think, at this point will get overwhelmed here, and he will retreat. Commissar Leg going to be getting yet another Leman Russ, so he still has not bothered with the upgrades on his first Leman Russ, and again, just saving those resources does make it easier to just get out another Leman Russ, and I do approve of actually getting 2 unupgraded Leman Russes over just getting a single one that is upgraded. Paroxysm going to be activated there. Going to do % damage over time to the Terminators. So the Terminators, as a high health hero, or high health unit rather, will take quite a bit of damage from that ability. So what are we going to be looking at here? We've got Wolfguard with 500 red. He's the only one with a nuke on the table. He's been using his red for Terminators mainly. He's got 2 squads of Terminators, but I think at this point in the game, I think eventually we will see an orbital out of him. Meanwhile, we'll Let the Galaxy Burn comes out from the Chaos Lord, but it will more or less completely miss. Space Marine units are chasing. Paroxysm laid down in the middle here. Just need all these units to get out of it. The Terminator's going for the Brood Nest. Going to take that out rather quickly, while the Assault Marines jump on the Venom Brood. Assault Marines probably going to be looking for a Melt-A-Bomb on the Carnifex. No, they don't drop the bomb. They could have dropped the Melt-A-Bomb on the Carnifex before retreating. Unfortunately for them, that is going to be a Cataclysm also from the Neurothrope. Knocks down the Force Commander, but not the Terminators, as they are immune to weapon knockback. And these Terminators try to put some damage on the Carnifex right here, but there is also quite a bit of support for the Carnifex as well. But the Terminators are not unsupported themselves. There's another squad of Terminators, and they are once again standing inside a Paroxysm, taking % damage over time. I feel like this Terminator squad should actually really be targeting the Venom Brood. The ranged Terminators really should have been targeting the Venom Brood, try to pop them and get them to retreat. While Assault Terminators here get down to 1 model. Alright, we've got a desperate fight over the contested victory point. Victory points will be evened out at 1-1 as the blue team is looking to capture it. Meanwhile, on the back, we see the Ogrins try to finish off the Terminators. Can they get it? I think they do. It's going to be kind of slow, and there might be other things going on while it's happening, but this is still happening, and there it is. So Assault Terminators will go down. Life is getting pretty tough for Wolfguard. He's also floating a massive amount of red. He might be thinking, oh, maybe I get another squad of Terminators. At this point, though, I would even say use an orbital first, and then by the time he uses the orbital, he might actually have enough red for Terminators again. Oh! Bunker has been stolen, so Leg is now not receiving any repairs on his Leman Russ. He's trying to kite the Ogrins, who I think stole the bunker. He will reclaim his bunker with the Lord General, so that also means he'll get repairs on the Leman Russ, and that makes this kiting a lot more effective. I think the Ogrins have now lost this fight and should just try to get out of here before they lose any more models. There it is. Finally, we are going to see the orbital. How much will it catch? It will catch the Havoc. The Havoc, I think, is going to go down before the bunker or before the orbital really even catches them. The Plague Marines as well as the Heretics kind of walk right into it. Or maybe not the Plague Marines, the Plague Champion. Alright, that orbital didn't achieve a huge amount, and the Ogrins should have left a long time ago. They're going to get out of there with only 1 model. It's not even the Bonehead leader. Something just went flying across the screen, and the Terminators are getting wiped as well. It's an absolute bloodbath as we find out, or get to the conclusion of this game. Blastmaster Noise Marines losing a model. It's now a 2-1 victory point, I don't know, pattern, capture, whatever. But oh my god, Bloodlust on double cast Terminators is going to be absolutely brutal amounts of range damage coming out. Assault Marines just barely making it out of there alive. But man, there is not a lot of time left in this game. We do have the Hive Tyrant here trying to get back to the natural victory point. Oh! Although he was completely invulnerable to that 500 red Imperial Abyss. Oh, the Imperial Abyss actually pulls him back in. He can start the recapture. No, it's going to pull him back out. Literally, an Imperial Abyss. Just bringing this Hive Tyrant back and forth. Now he just right-clicks the point. And it actually did, like, no damage to him because he had invulnerability. That is pretty silly. All right, then. This is going to be a heavy turret, I think. Or is it? No, it's just a Leman Russ, which makes a lot more sense. And is a lot better. But the bunker is getting pretty close to dying as well. I think these Plague Marines need to actually stop targeting the Leman Russ. They need to take out the bunker. But they're not. Destroy the bunker. That gets rid of all the... Well, not all of the repairs, but certainly the bunker repairs, as there is a Guardsman squad that is repairing right now. This Leman Russ going way too far in upgrades to a Vanquisher, but this Leman Russ is not going to live much longer, I don't think. One more shot will take it out. It was actually the las cannon on the Leman Russ that finishes it off, not even the main cannon. And these Chaos Terminators get it really close, but as it turns out, that is a triple cap for the red team, and that will close out the game. All right, turned out to be quite a game in the end. Hope you enjoyed it, and have a good night.